Alright guys, the Hot Rod Drag Week locations and dates have been announced, and that means it's time to get ready. Now, I know it really isn't in drag week fashion to be getting prepared this early, but that's not really our style. Those who fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Just because it's January and 12 degrees out is no excuse. Well, it kinda is. If you have never heard of Drag Week, it is an event where you race your car at 4 different tracks over 5 days, and you must drive your race car in between tracks, usually totaling just over 1,000 miles driven with no support vehicles. It is basically a torture test for the car and the driver. It has been my dream to compete in this event for basically as long as I can remember, and we're going to attempt it again this year. My dad has competed in the event 4 times, and I have attempted the event once in my 1981 Ford Fairmont Station Wagon. Unfortunately, it didn't go very well in my one and only attempt. The engine started making noise on the very first day, and we decided it would be wise to pack it up on the trailer and try again for another year. At the time, the Fairmont had a twin-turbo 6-liter LS in the car, but we have recently changed it out to a Vortec 4200. This probably doesn't make sense to a lot of people. The LS is probably much more durable and much easier to find parts for, but I wanted the 6-cylinder because that's what our channel is about. In 2019, we competed in the street race small block power adder class, and I want to again compete in that class for this year. I was briefly thinking about competing in the street machine eliminator class just because it wouldn't push the car so hard and we'd have a higher likelihood of completing the event. One of the goals with this channel is to show the world what these 4200s are capable of, and I don't think we're going to do that going 10-0s in the quarter mile. We will try to make some modest passes for the street race class. Definitely won't be going for an 850 at least the first 4 days, and then on the 5th day, if we make it there, I want to turn it up and see what this thing will do. So, a lot of you probably are saying, I thought you already ran it down the track. I thought the car was done. Well, not really. There's quite a few things that need to be addressed on the car. Changed, reworked, added. Definitely some stuff that we learned on the original Drag Week attempt, and changes we will definitely be making. So let's start up here in the engine bay. Things that need to change on the car up here are, I would like to install smart coils on this engine. We were starting to see the limitations of the LS coils on our most recent dyno outing. As you can see, I have already started to fab a bracket that will house the smart coils, and they will attach in a very similar way that the LS coils did. Additionally, I would like to install a crankcase pressure sensor. I think that we are seeing excessive crankcase pressure on this car, but you don't know until you measure it, so I would like to add that. Also, I would like to increase the lines going from the engine to the catch can using parts from our friends at Monkey Fab Garage. Another thing that I would like to install up here is a belly pan. I really hope that I will never have to use it, but sometimes you don't get that choice. Alright. One thing that I absolutely hate about this car is the fuel surging at low speeds going down the road. I believe this to be caused by poor fuel pump placement here in the stock fuel tank. Normally how we mount our fuel pumps in the stock fuel tank is we just basically make a fitting that sticks down into the tank, and the pumps just kind of dangle into the fuel level. We've done this on quite a few cars, including my Studebaker, and it has worked well in the past. That being said, it works horribly on this car. At low speeds, I believe the fuel is sloshing in and out away from the fuel pumps, and that is causing it to go rich and lean, and it's just generally annoying. Recently, I tried to fix this problem by using some of the Holley Hydromat fuel pickup material on the fuel pumps, and it fixed the fuel surging issue, but I think it is now causing the fuel pumps to not perform at the same level that they were in the past. In other words, I think it's causing a restriction on the feed of the pumps, which we are now not able to get the same fuel flow out of the fuel pumps. When we made 713 horsepower with this car, we were beginning to see the fuel pressure dive, and we've had this car to 936 horsepower with the LS engine with the same fuel setup. The only change was now we have Hydromat. It's either that or one of my fuel pumps is dying. I'm not sure which, but when we originally put this car together, we tested the fuel pumps before starting the car. One of the fuel pumps did not deliver 58 psi, so it's possible that that fuel pump has finally sung its last song. No, I didn't buy the Chinese Walbro 450 clones. I bought the expensive, probably Chinese, genuine Walbro 450s. Dropping this tank is such a pain. I was super happy with the Tanks Incorporated fuel tank that we used on my mom's truck, so I decided to buy one of their universal truck tanks and install it on this car. It's a little bit different shape and size, and what I'd really like to do is delete the spare tire tub, make some room for the fuel tank, and install that. Then I'll use the internal tank, which has a surge baffle, for my primary pump, and I will run a race pump on the external of the tank and weld in a external fuel sump. For the race pump, I plan to go with a MagnaFuel 4303 because they are cheap, reliable, and I'm very likely to see more on the road from other racers if I were to have a problem. While we're back here, I would also like to reroute the exhaust to out the back of the car. This car definitely drones on the highway, so I would like to get it all the way out the back of the car. The new fuel tank configuration should allow that to be more easily done as well. Also, I would like to mount the trans cooler back here because space up front is very limited. Also, we need to fix the axle seal on the one side of the car because it was leaking going down the road and on the dyno. All right, I'm gonna get off this cold concrete and we're gonna wrap this up. One last thing that this car definitely needs is cup holders. You just can't have a drag week car without cup holders. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. As we make changes on this, I will keep you guys updated. Then we'll hit the track and test everything out. The goal this year is to finish drag week. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Nivlac 57 YouTube channel, and we'll see you in the next one.